Republican presidential candidate Michelle Bachmann has made fighting same-sex marriage one of the defining issues of her political career. Now, there are new questions about the approach that she and her therapist's husband take with homosexuals at a clinic that they own together. NBC News national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff has that story from Washington, D.C.
26-year-old John Becker says he sought help last month from the therapists at Bachmann Associates, the Christian counseling center owned by Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann and her psychologist husband, Marcus Bachmann.
I told them that I wanted to be rid of my same-sex attractions, to be rid of my homosexuality.
In 5 one-hour sessions that he secretly taped on behalf of a gay rights group, Becker says a clinic therapist advised him how he could become straight through counseling, prayer, and scripture.
Anytime I felt the temptation of, to act out homosexually or had homosexual thoughts, to pray about it, to take it to the Bible.
Becker says he wanted to prove that the Bachmann Clinic uses a controversial technique called reparative therapy to cure gays and lesbians of their homosexuality.
The truth is, God has designed our eyes to be attracted to the woman's body. Sure. To be attracted to everything, to be attracted to her friends.
The gay cure therapy has been repudiated by the American Psychological Association. And in the past, Marcus Bachmann has denied that his clinic uses such practices. But the Becker video could raise new questions about the clinic and candidate Michelle Bachmann's views on homosexuality. From her first days as a state senator in Minnesota, Bachmann led the charge for a ban on same-sex marriage.
If this actually goes on the ballot, it will pass overwhelmingly.
And in a controversial 2004 speech, she compared what she called the gay lifestyle to slavery.
If you're involved in the gay and lesbian lifestyle, it's bondage. It is personal bondage, personal despair, and personal enslavement. And that's why this is so dangerous.
Comments such as these have alarmed some GOP strategists and many gay Republicans.
Congresswoman Bachmann's viewpoints on gay and lesbian Americans is actually on the fringe. More and more Americans believe and accept that their gay neighbors, families, friends, colleagues are just who they are.
But analysts say her uncompromising views on homosexuality are also one of the big reasons she is gaining traction in Iowa. Just last week, she reinforced her message by becoming the first GOP presidential candidate to sign a controversial marriage vow that pledges vigorous opposition to same-sex marriage. She also vowed to push for a federal marriage amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
All right, so we asked the Bachmann campaign for a response and a comment on this story, and a spokeswoman says that Bachmann Associates is a Christian counseling center that provides services to patients with a variety of counseling and mental health issues. She refused to discuss the specifics of this or any other case, citing patient confidentiality. But she did say, quote, "The clinic honors and respects all people for whatever issue they come in for, and if there is a conflict, they refer elsewhere." Wayne Besen is the executive director for Truth Wins Out and the author of Anything But Straight, Unmasking the Scandals and the Lies Behind the Ex-Gay Myth. I want to thank you for being here today, but I also want to start out by playing you a comment that we do have on tape of Dr. Marcus Bachmann speaking to a Christian conservative radio talk show about how he feels that gays and lesbians can be saved. Take a listen.
We have to understand barbarians need to be educated. They need to be disciplined. And just because someone feels it or thinks it doesn't mean that we're supposed to go down that road. That's what's called the sinful nature. And we have a responsibility as parents and as authority figures not to encourage such thoughts and feelings to move into the action steps.
Most of these Christian counseling clinics have people on board that are living the talk, that have been through reparative therapy themselves. Do we know whether or not Dr. Marcus Bachmann is living that life, someone that's lived through reparative therapy, or any of his counselors?
Oh, we don't know if he or anyone else has. I would suspect that many of them, or some of them, possibly have. They're very close to an ex-gay minister named Janet Boynes. In fact, they sell Janet Boynes' book called Called Out in the clinic. and she says some very strange things. For example, if she believes that if same-sex marriage is legalized, half of all couples getting married in a few years will actually be gay.
There was a person from that was working with you guys, John Becker, who did the investigation where he went in posing as a gay individual that wanted to change his lifestyle and change the attraction that he had to men. The undercover video was very telling, but do you think that it was fair of what your organization stands for to go and put the feet to the fire, so to speak, of Bachmann Associates to find out how they do deal with patients that come in and say that they are confused about a same-sex attraction?
Well, Marcus Bachmann wasn't being forthcoming. He wasn't being honest. He said his therapy practice didn't do this, and they do. The question is, even if somebody came to them for help, why would he say yes? You know, if somebody goes to a doctor who's a bodybuilder and says, hey, help me inject steroids because I want to do this, or if a model comes in and says, help me starve so I can get a job, a doctor would say no because it's unhealthy. This type of therapy, this ex-gay therapy, is incredibly unhealthy. It's rejected by every respected medical and mental health organization that's out there. And my organization, Truth Wins Out, has to deal with the victims who go to therapists like Bachmann, who have their lives destroyed because they're told they're less than whole, that there's something wrong with them, that they're sick, and there's nothing wrong with them. There's something that's wrong with this kind of therapy at Bachmann Associates.
The American Psychological Association has done studies about this kind of conversion therapy, and I just want to point out to everybody that they say efforts to change sexual orientation are unlikely and involve some harm or risk. So, Wayne, how widespread is this belief, though, that this can happen, that you can go to some type of Christian counseling center and come out a different person when it comes to your attraction, what you feel that what you are, whether you're gay, straight, or Martian?
Well, the majority of Americans think it's nonsense. They laugh at it. However, among evangelical Christians, it's still very popular. There's ministries all across the country, and they do everything from trying to pray away the gay to conventional counseling to very bizarre things like exorcisms is a big part of it to get out the demon of homosexuality. And unfortunately, even in this day and age, these backward medieval practices are still occurring, even though we know the scientific facts say it's harmful, it's ineffective, it doesn't work, yet there are still people taking money unethically, in our view, from trying to cure gay and lesbian people.
And just to confirm once again, Dr. Marcus Bachmann doesn't say that he has prayed away the gay or that any of his counselors have.
He has not.
Okay. Wayne Besen, thanks for coming on today, Wayne. We appreciate it.